Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television. A reminder of our top stories. President Muhammadu Buhari meets with Nigerians in London, promises that he will not betray the trust reposed in him. Northern elder statesmen criticize former leaders from the north for not developing the region despite the opportunities they have had. The Benue State government moves to block the porous entry routes used by killer herdsmen across the state, adopts regular patrol by security men. And US President Donald Trump accuses fake news media of misinterpreting his statement, mission accomplished. ChannelsTV.com has more information for you, and on youtube.com/channelsweb you can watch our videos. You can also watch us on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. Besides giving you access to news and updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 app have an eyewitness feature that you can use to share pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu and follow the instructions. Speaking of which, we have some of the pictures and videos that you sent into our portal. Let's take a look at some of them, shall we? We begin with this set of pictures from the Agbede along General Hospital Road in Esako West local government area of Edo State, showing this gully, which our eyewitness reporter says is a result of the abandonment of a drainage project. It's calling on the state government to complete this project to prevent further erosion. Our next image is from the Efutide Street in Surulere area of Lagos State, showing the flooded road. Our eyewitness reporter laments that this is the usual sight whenever it rains. A flood our eyewitness reporter eyewitness report has overflowed the drain meant to control its movement. Eyewitness reporter says that the drain meant to control its movement has been overflooded. He's pleading with the Lagos State government and the Koka Aguda local council development area to fix this and stop the difficulties residents go through on this road. Well, here's our last picture. It's from Okumagba Wari in Delta State. We see this transformer, which according to our eyewitness is bad and has been like that for months now. It says the community has had to cope with the blackouts for that long. It's calling on the Benin Electricity Distribution Company to replace it. Thanks for sending in those pictures. I know that you too can become an eyewitness reporter for Channels Television. Get on the website and get the details. The Benue State government has challenged security agencies to do more by blocking porous entry routes used by suspected killer herdsmen to prevent the further killings instead of the reactionary approach. The Deputy Governor, Mr. Benson Abonu, made this demand after an emergency security meeting following the killing of 2 persons in Makurdi, the state capital, and the random killings in Ukum local government area. He said if implemented, the approach would curtail the mass killing of farmers in the state.
What I've experienced, even from the Operation Cat Race, has been that actions or measures taken by the security forces have been reactionary. You hear that there has been one attack or another here and there, and then reports are made, and security forces move in there, stabilize the situation, and they get back. And then you hear of another one. That's how it has been going on and on and on and on. It's been all reactionary. But today we held a meeting and we decided that the best approach should be proactive. We should forestall rather than go to repair a situation that has already gone bad. We should, it is incumbent upon the security forces to ensure, for instance, to block the entry points where these attackers come from, so that we forestall any attack that might take place. One soul of either a Benue indigene or even a herdsman lost It's not worth it.
A delegation from the United States National War College has undertaken a visit to military formations in Lagos as part of student development strategy. Receiving the team at the Naval Headquarters in Lagos, the Chief Staff Officer, Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Oladile Daji, said the visit is part of strengthening existing bilateral relations. The team will be visiting other parts of the world after departing Nigeria.
It's an extension of our bilateral relations, particularly in the defense sphere, to strengthen relations between the military of the United States of America and the armed forces of Nigeria.
We've got students developing strategies, looking at Nigeria's economic growth, prosperity opportunities, and really we're using Nigeria and the continent of Africa as a vehicle to examine complex problems. We have groups similar to ours traveling around the world during this week in Germany and China, Japan. And so this is just one sample of a group of future strategists traveling on behalf of National War College.
Staying with security issues, the allegation of collusion leveled against the Nigerian military by a former Chief Army Staff, Lieutenant General Theophilus Danjuma, drew a lot of reactions, especially from the Nigerian Army, who set up a panel of inquiry to look into the matter in Taraba State. The military is also accused of withdrawing its troops, an accusation which has also been raised by a group in Benue State. This next report takes a look at the trials facing the military in Benue and in Taraba states.
The peace in this state is under assault. There is an attempt at ethnic cleansing.
A lot is happening in the northeast region of the country.
We must resist it. We must stop it. Every one of us must rise up.
First is this allegation that shook the nation. One-time Chief of Army Staff and the Minister of Defense, Lieutenant General Theophilus Danjuma.
The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude.
The comments sparked instant reactions, with the Army convening an emergency session to address the claim.
Statements of this nature could damage the reputation of the armed forces of Nigeria, and thus cannot be ignored if the Nigerian Army is to continue to earn the trust and respect of the Nigerian populace.
A military panel was sent to assess the situation in Taraba State.
The panel before you is a fact-finding team with a view to making appropriate recommendations that will assist relevant authorities in making appropriate decisions.
The Inspector General of Police also visited Taraba State to commission a mobile force to patrol the area.
Mr. President's approval.
Not far away is Benue State, where the Operation Cat Race was commissioned by the Chief of Army Staff. The move was perceived to be the beginning of the end of attacks by suspected herdsmen on farmers. But it appears that pleasant dream has turned sour, claimed by this group who allege that the military has withdrawn its troops from the state.
We are very seriously concerned and alarmed at the withdrawal of the personnel of exercise catcheries from Benue when the herdsmen menace has not been curbed, and the reasons for their continued deployment to other states in the region, which has left Benue even more vulnerable and has paved the way for the recent despicable, premeditated attacks by herdsmen in our communities.
The same has also been voiced by the Taraba State government. Within a week of the purported withdrawal, fresh attacks in both states have claimed 2 lives, throwing spanner in a wheel of peace as everything appears to be going sideways. The question many are asking about the situation is, what next?
Let's dig more into the issue now. Retired Army Colonel and security expert Francis Costa joins me now to discuss this. Thank you for joining us on the news at 10.
Thank you.
I'm sure you're welcome. You're very aware of the statements made by the former Defense Minister, General T.Y. Danjuma, And the Benue State Deputy Governor, who says that reactionary measures need to be taken to forestall attacks by suspected herdsmen. Is it responsible for the military to continue their operations in the North Central, where they have been accused of not providing enough security for locals against herdsmen attacks and outright harassment?
Now, let me say straight away that the military is a victim of inherited prejudices. If the military does well, nobody says thank you or well done. But whenever, if anything ever goes wrong, then they call for the head of the military.
That's human nature, anyway.
Well, here it's playing out too. It's playing out too. I don't know what anybody expects the military to do in the circumstance. Now, you give them an assignment, they carry these assignments out as best they can. In the case of the North Central, in Benue State, for example, what has anybody got to say against the military? That they are reactionary? That they are not preemptive? Did anybody provide intelligence or information that was not actioned, that was not acted upon?
But there is information. I mean, authorities are saying that the suspected herdsmen are not from Nigeria, that they're coming from outside.
Yeah.
The Benue State Deputy Governor is saying, why don't you just block, the routes by which they come into the country? I think that's what he's talking about.
That's a completely different kettle of fish. If your borders are porous, is it for the military to monitor your borders? You have customs elements. You have the immigration there. You have the Nigeria police. So what are these people doing? If you had, say, paratroopers dropping into Nigeria, then you will question our defense capabilities. This is not a question of people para-dropping into this country. You're talking about people using the land borders. I am not aware that you have a brigade or a battalion that is stationed to man the borders.
Correct. But you do have people reporting that there have been suspected herdsmen attacks in certain communities. Why don't we have the military in those communities to stop those attacks?
Okay.
Knowing that, certain states have come under siege by these suspected herdsmen.
Amarachi, the military deployment is not an administrative business. It is operational. The administrative deployment on the ground in Nigeria is that of the Department of State Services and the Nigeria Police. They are the ones who are available to be deployed up to the local government level. You do not cite military locations based on this kind of considerations. If you have a division has an area of responsibility. And when you have an operation, they have an area of operation. There has not been any report of the military being assigned a place for an operation and the military found wanting. Such have not been reported. I might also add, Amarachi, that people color some of these things with political intentions. I must warn.
I do not doubt that is possible, but unfortunately the people in these states feel abandoned by the government. Now the governor is saying you need to arm yourselves, even use stones to defend yourselves. Yes. You heard the former defense minister also saying that people need to arm themselves. So has the military achieved the purpose for their deployment in these areas?
The military deployed for set piece operations have not failed. Nobody has told you that you sent the military to carry out an assignment in a particular area and they were repelled by the herdsmen or that they were repelled by the natives. No, that's not what is being said. What is being said, look, the respected general made an allegation. And to the best of my knowledge, the Chief of Army Staff has constituted a panel headed by, I think, General Nimiel, and they have since visited Taraba State in furtherance of the task. I would expect that people would give this panel time to conclude this assignment and then come up. If they find that there's collusion, I'm not sure they would mask it. I'm not sure they would conceal it. I'm not sure.
Well, you're asking us to give them time. We'll give them time. Yes. And we do hope they come back with something positive. Thank you for speaking with us, Colonel Francis Okosun.
Thank you so much.
When the news at 10 returns, the pottery and weaving community of Tactical in Niger State berates the poor state of infrastructure, seeks urgent government attention. That's in our community report. Join us again.